Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 11 September 2024. So actually in our today's newspaper there are around 9 to 10 articles which are relevant from our examination point of view. So let us see each and every article, okay, from all dimensions. So see the title here, guys. India has a 4-point principle to end Russia-Ukraine conflict. So what is the keyword here? What do you have to focus? Okay, so you have to focus on what is this 4-point principle, and here you have to see why is India involving in this Russia-Ukraine peace process. Okay, so these are the two things that you have to see. First one is what is this 4-point principle, and second one is India's role in peace process. So tell me, what are the recent developments which is made by India regarding this peace between Russia and Ukraine? Okay, Prime Minister visit to Ukraine next. Bhishma cubes next. Next, come on. Tell me fast. Okay, so first one here is PM visit to Ukraine. Next one is Bhishma cubes. So what is this Bhishma cubes? So with that Bhishma cubes, what will be the applications? What are the advantages? Okay, so we can give medical aid and first aid next. Okay, they are portable. Okay, next. So there may be a question regarding this Bhishma cubes in your filling. So you have to be prepared regarding that well. And here, can you guess what is this 4-point principle includes? So what are those 4 points? Yeah, tell me. Peace. So how we can establish peace? What are the 4 principles that we are going to follow? So these points you can use even in ethics. So if you want to resolve any conflict between two parties, so you can directly take them because India said that is authenticated, right? So even if you want to resolve or if you want to write any measures, you can use them. Okay, let us see this article clearly, and this is important from your ethics as well as international relations point of view. So our India's External Affairs Minister, he said 4-point principle. We can use that so that we can resolve this Russia-Ukraine conflict during a meeting in Berlin. Okay, so actually our External Affairs Minister, he focused on need of peace, and even he said that we need to go for dialogue involving Russia, and next one is India's active engagement in this conflict resolution. So these are the 3 important points which are highlighted by our External Affairs Minister. So we are moving towards peace, and we want to negotiate this peace process between Russia and Ukraine, and how we have to involve Russia in each and every dialogue. So if you are not involving those parties which are in conflict, how can we establish peace? No, right? So in the dialogues we have to include Russia, and even we have to focus on even other countries. Other countries need to be involved so that we can efficiently resolve this issue as soon as possible. So actually, so this 4-point principle which is reflecting diplomatic stance, and we are prioritizing dialogue over military solution. The first one is we are going for dialogue, and whatever the dialogues we are going to have, so in that we have to include this Russia. And next one here is we are shifting in global conflict resolution paradigms. That means till now India didn't want to enter into this Russia-Ukraine issue, but now there is a shifting in our foreign policy that we can see clearly, and we are moving towards this resolution of issue between this Russia and Ukraine. And next one here is we are also giving some important role for this Russia also, and we have to include this in peace discussion. So this is second important thing. And next one is we are also saying that not only India but even other countries need to actively engage in these discussions so that we can maintain strong diplomatic ties amid tensions. Particularly European countries need to involve this because European countries, they are supporting Ukraine, and other countries you are supporting Russia. So whichever the country is supporting both Ukraine and this Russia, they have to actively participate that. And this one here is one more important complex thing here is China. So wherever you go, China will not leave us. So here we have to even think about how the relationship between Russia and China is creating this complex thing. Okay, and we have to make a strategic balancing act, and we have to completely break down the relationship despite ongoing military tensions. Okay, so this is the thing. And this one here is we are also focusing on increasing of migration partnership even with other countries, so that here we can use even skilled workforce for international opportunities, so that will be helpful for both the countries, Ukraine and as well as Russia. And even yes, they can also go for military collaborations with other countries as well, so that we can resolve this kind of issues. So that is the thing that you have to focus. And see this article, 6 Indian nationals enlisted with Russia army released. So actually between India and Russia, there was some talks which had been happened around 3 months ago. And after that we said that, yes, Russia is not taking any action regarding India's request, right? So many Indian nationals, they had been recruited and they are working as frontliner in their military. And actually Indian government asked them to send them back. But after a long time, around 6 nationals, they had been enlisted and they had been released. And one of the guy who was from even Telangana state as well. Okay, so that is the thing. This is one important development between India and Russia relations. So I think 10 to 15 days ago, we discussed one article like why India-Russia relations are going at a low pace. I said about S-40 missile there. So actually we ordered 5, only we got 2. And there is a delay in that other equipments as well. And even regarding this SWIFT payment system also there is some issue. And even we are going for rupee ruble payment system. And actually India asked to send them back. But after a long time, so Russia took this decision. So because of all these things, now we can see that there is decreasing of relationship between India and Russia. So this is one recent development that you can add in Russia-India relations. And say this article, Watchdog likely to release report on India's mutual evaluation next week. So what is this Watchdog is about? Is it a pit bull or is it any dog breed? No, right? So what is this Watchdog? So here Watchdog is FATF. So what is this FATF? Any idea? FATF, Financial Action Task Force. So what this Financial Action Task Force will do? Yeah, blacklist, grey list, okay. What is that blacklist and what is that grey list? So why this FATF is keeping some countries under blacklist and grey list? So can you tell me some examples of countries in blacklist? Come on, at least try. Pakistan is in grey list or blacklist? North Korea? Iran? Okay. So actually Financial Action Task Force, it is an organization which will be looking regarding the issues of money laundering, anti-terror, etc. So whenever the countries which are supporting money laundering and terror financing, those countries will be kept under this grey list and blacklist. First they will be giving warning. So if they are not following or if they are not taking any regulations, those countries will be kept in first grey list. And even after keeping those countries in grey list, so if they are not taking any action, then they will be placing that in blacklist. So as of now, Iran and North Korea, they are in blacklist. Okay. So here this article is very important, and this article is talking about India's mutual evaluation. So what is this India's mutual evaluation is about? Can you guess what is this India's mutual evaluation is about? At least guess now I said about the story, what is the function of this FATF, and tell me what is this India's mutual evaluation. You have to think. Come on. Yeah, India already joined. It is not a new thing. So actually it is going to review how India is taking steps to control money laundering in India, and as well as what are the steps taken by India regarding anti-terror finance activities. Okay, so that report we are going to get by the next week. Okay, there we will be analyzing each and every step what India is taking to control this money laundering and as well as anti-terror financing and how effective those steps are. So actually in newspaper you will be getting what steps government is taking, and here your role is to analyze how far they are feasible. Okay, so that is the thing that you have to do. You have to think out of the box. Okay, let us see this article. So see from which subjects we can see this. Money laundering you will be reading in GS paper 3 economy, and it is an organization which comes under GS paper 2 governance. And even terror financing, terrorism, it is one of internal security and as well as external security issue, right? So you can read from GS paper 3 under internal security. And next one is, it will be also keeping other countries in the list. So we have to know which countries as well. So from GS paper to IR also, it is very important. From all these subjects point of view, we will be seeing this article. Okay, now let us see what this article is saying exactly. So FATF is set to release its report on India's mutual evaluation when on September 19. So in that report, it will highlight about what are the measures we are taking regarding anti-money laundering and as well as anti-terror financing measures. And here we are going to have around 4 categories under this FATF. So India is in a category of regular follow-up. So once this report is given or released, we can understand that whether we are staying in that category or we are downgrading our category. Okay. And here you have to know about what are those 4 groups or 4 categories under this FATF. That is very important. So which are the countries in this regular follow-up are? First one is India, second one is UK, and third one is France. So if you see these countries, they are also part of G20. So in this G20 grouping, how many countries are there? 20 countries. Out of these 20 countries, only 4 or 5 countries of this G20 group, they are present in this first list, that is regular follow-up list. Okay, if you see the facts here, under this FATF categories, we have 4 groups. First one is regular follow-up, second one is enhanced follow-up, and third one is grey list, and fourth one is blacklist. So India is in first category. That means India is taking good steps to control this money laundering and as well as anti-terror financing in our country. Okay, so in the regular follow-up, only 4 to 5 countries of G20, they are placed in this category. And India has achieved strong results and a high level of technical competence. That means what are the steps we are taking, and India is following those steps, and because of those steps only, we are controlling money laundering in our country and terror financing. But you have to think about practicality, whether this money laundering is happening or not. So I don't want to take any decision here. And actually, your economy is going on, right? So in economy, you will be coming across this money laundering, and even the reports regarding money laundering in India, there you can take your own stand. Taking your own stand and perspective is very important. For example, on this topic, you may get an interview question like FATF said that India is in regular follow-up, and it is saying that yes, India is taking lot of steps. So what is your opinion, whether you are taking or not? There you have to give your true perspective. So that's why whenever you are reading current affairs, try to develop your own perspectives. So don't blindly see these articles. Okay, you have to dig deeper because you are civil servants. Okay, you have to know what is happening on practicality, on reality. So if you see some facts here regarding FATF, FATF is a global money laundering and terror financing watchdog. So when it was set up in year 1989 out of G7 meeting. So what is the objective? Objective it is to take some measures to combat this money laundering. And when we came up with this, after this 9/11 attacks on US, FATF expanded its mandate even to combat terrorism financing in this 2001. After once this attack happened, so the scope of this FATF had been increased to combat this terror financing as well. So I want to give you one main question, that is, discuss how emerging technologies and globalization contributes money laundering. Elaborate the measures to tackle the problem of money laundering both at national level, international level, and this question appeared in 2021. Okay, so whenever any topic is in news, so you'll be getting questions like this. And from September 20 onwards, this year mains will be getting started. So from that day onwards, I will be showcasing the paper okay, of essay and everything in your mains, and you can analyze like how current affairs are helping to get answers, everything. Okay, so there you have to answer at least out of 20, you will be answering minimum 11 to 12 for sure within these 3 months current affairs. Okay, see this article. Will deploy 5,000 cyber commandos in 5 years, says Shah. So what is the keyword here? Cyber commandos. So what is the cyber commandos is about? Why we need the cyber commandos? To handle cyber security. So why the cyber security issues are increasing day by day? Yes, increase in technology. Next. Huh? Okay, ethical hacking. Next. Privacy. Okay, next. Essay topic. What is that essay topic? Okay, data leakage. So what is the essay topic that we practiced on Monday? Cyber. There I gave you a lot of data, how these cyber issues are happening. Okay, now tell me what are the reasons for this increasing of cyber issues first. So here you have to know some dimensions. It is very, very burning topic, and I am expecting that there will be a question regarding the cyber security in your essay, coming essay. Okay, so here this article is talking about cyber security. So first of all, tell me from which subject we can deal with this. Okay, GS paper 3, SNT, only SNT. So it is also problem of internal security, and even government need to take some steps. So this is an example of governance, right? So GS paper 2, governance. Next. And even from GS paper 4, from ethics, because of ethical hacking. Okay, can we connect with any other subject? No? Okay, so what are the dimensions you have to see? First one is what is the cyber security issues, and you have to see different types. Okay, different types of issues. And from internal security, you have to see different organizations. And from governance point of view, you have to see about CERT-IN, CERTIN. And even you can add this article of cyber commando. So it is new current affairs. Okay, so whenever you are writing about any measures to be taken to control the cyber security issues, you can write about recently government is going to launch cyber commandos to control the cyber security issues in our India. So that you can give some examples. So what are the articles you are reading in newspaper? So you have to note down them somewhere, and you can use as examples. So these examples will bring lot of difference between others' answers and your answers. Okay, so in this way you have to use the current affairs. Okay, let us see this article. So here our Union Home Minister announced that we are going to deploy around 5,000 cyber commandos over next 5 years. Why? To enhance cyber security in our country. So as of now, to provide cyber security, we have CERT-IN. So do some research about what is this CERT-IN today. Okay, CERT, CERT-IN, CERT-IN. And actually these cyber commandos, they are trained professionals. So these trained professionals, they will support a state and as well as central agencies in protecting digital space, because now data is a weapon, right? Okay, so earlier we used to consider that oil is as a weapon, but now your data is a weapon. So we have to protect this data. So for protecting of our digital space, and we are especially emphasizing on cyber security, it is integral for the national security. So now the wars will be going to happen because of this data. Earlier we used to have, especially in the ancient time, so the wars used to happen because of cattle. Okay, later on because of wealth, to plunder gold, everything. So now here the wars will be happen based on for this data itself. So protecting of data is one of the national security mandate now for each and every country. And actually for this, our government launched several initiatives, and we are focusing on coordination against cybercrime, and we are also focusing on including almost all the stakeholders which are involved in this cyber security arena. So if you see some details, it is saying that we are focusing on strategic cyber defense. So when our government announced that we are training around 5,000 cyber commandos, which signifies is that yes, we are taking some proactive approach to improve cyber security in our country, and even we are recognizing that. So these people are going to play a very important role in national defense. Okay, so for that we have to focus on this because nowadays there is increased threats of cyber as well. And you have to know about NCRB data regarding cyber threats in India and try to note down the recent data. And next one here is InterAgency Collaboration. So here our Home Minister also said that whichever the institutions which are involved to provide this cyber security, we are going to take everyone into consideration so that we can provide comprehensive cyber security defense. And this one is even we are focusing on improving of infrastructure for cyber crime mitigation. Okay, so that is the thing. And next one here is National Cyber Suspect Registry we have to maintain. So whenever we are maintaining the registry, we will be having data so that it will be very helpful for analyzing how the crimes are happening. So in which area the crimes are happening more. So what are the reasons behind these crimes? Okay, so for that we have to maintain proper registry so that we can tackle them and we can even take some preventive measures in the future. And this one is even if you see the volume of cyber crimes in our country, so more than 6,700 daily calls to helpline and thousands of identified mule accounts is happening. That means the threat is very, very huge. So you can imagine in our country itself, daily 67,000 of cyber calls are happening. Means yes, government need to take a lot of steps, and even this 5,000 commandos will be not at all enough to control this level of crimes in our country. Still further steps need to be taken. So because of that, they're not only deploying this cyber commandos, but even they are also taking the help from other stakeholder as well. And this one is what are the reasons for this increasing of cyber issues? The first one is because of internet penetration. So because of this internet users who are increasing in our country drastically within this 3 to 4 years, 25 crores to 95 crores people. So because of this growing of digital landscape in our country, so it is providing opportunities and as well as it is also causing challenges in the cyber security, and we have to tackle this issue properly. So what is the need? The need here is we have to focus on awareness and we have to focus on training so that we can equip the citizens with the at least knowledge. So you should not click the links whichever you are coming, and please don't attend the calls from those numbers. So like that we have to give at least awareness like how these cyber issues are happening, like don't share the OTPs. Okay, so those things that can be done. And see this article, access to electricity in rural areas had differential benefits, says study. So what is this article is talking about? Okay, so whenever rural areas, if they are having access to electricity, they are getting benefits. So can you tell me like what are the benefits they will be getting? Benefits of electricity. Okay, for agriculture. Okay, I'm talking about especially in rural areas. So in rural areas, economy is dominantly agriculture economy. So in agriculture, how it will be useful? Okay, they will be getting proper irrigation next. Hmm? Okay, irrigation I wrote. Okay, night time how they'll work. So what they'll work in the night time? Okay, borewells comes under irrigation itself. Next. Huh? I didn't get you. Weeds. Okay, night time. I don't know. Electricity. Okay. So we can increase productivity. Next. Next. Tell me fast. Tell me fast. Sir will come. Hmm? Okay, street lights. And we can also increase education. And we can also increase efficiency of health in PHCs. Next. So with electricity, what can we do? We can use mobiles, no. Yes, technology penetration, next. Using of electronic gadgets will be increased. Next. So these are the advantages. But what this article is saying, is this article is saying about these benefits? No, not at all. So actually this article is saying that there is increasing of electricity, we are getting benefits. So these benefits are, okay, so now let us see about large villages. And next one is we have small villages. So in those two types of villages, who will be getting more benefited with this electricity? Large, right? So this is about article. So this article is saying that, so because of increased access of electricity, it is giving benefits, but large villages are getting more benefits over small villages. So tell me why these large villages are getting more benefits than small villages? Okay, more technology, more. Okay, next. Come on, do it. You can do it. Okay, agricultural production activities, because these people, they'll be having more land compared to these people. Okay, so they will be getting benefited. Apart from that, agriculture. Okay, how can you decide whether it is a large village or small village, on what criteria? Based on population. So can you tell me what is that population? So what is the population which is required to call a village as a large village? More than 1,000. Okay, what about small village? Uh, uh, Tell me that. So you have to know the criteria. Your work is see the criteria. After a long time, I'm giving you the work. So from now onwards, I'll give you the works, or else you'll be not doing the work. So what is the criteria on which we can decide whether a village is a large village or a small village? Okay. So let us see this article. So this article is saying that one study that had been done by Rajiv Gandhi Gram Vidyut Yojana, so which find that yes, in rural areas we are going to provide proper access of electricity. So because of this access of electricity, larger villages, they are getting more benefits than compared to that of smaller villages. So villages with a population under 300, it is having minimal gains, whereas the village which is having more than around 2,000 people, they are getting more economic improvements. Okay. So here if you see the details which are given in this article, it says that yes, there is disproportionate benefits. So the same electricity we are providing to the villages, but large villages are getting more advantages or more benefits compared to that of small. That means we can understand that the benefits are not equal, unequal benefits. And even when you are writing about income inequality, can you add this point? So recently the study had been done. So which study says that because of increasing of access of electricity, larger villages are getting more benefited compared to that of smaller. So it is also an example of income inequality in our country. Can you interlink? Okay. So don't stick to the article. So try to interlink as many dimensions as possible. Okay. So don't be a narrow-minded. So be a broad-minded. Okay, and next one here is there is insufficient gains for small villages. So villages which are having under population of 300, so they are showing a very negligible changes in economic metrics. Okay, so why? Because they are not using that efficiently. So do you know this quote? Unity is strength. So whenever we are having large population, so we will be having large human resources. Because of human resources, we can enhance our economic activities. So here human resources very less. So there is no enlargement of economic activities. So even after getting electricity access also, there is no proper economic metrics in this small area. So here you can add this concept of economics, factors of production, and even demographic dividend can you use here? Yes, right? And whenever you are writing about importance of human capital or importance of demographic dividend, again you can show this article as an example. Clear? And next one here is we are also need to focus on increasing of income of these rural villages, because we are already focusing on inclusive governance, and whenever we are focusing on this development, we have to focus on even inclusive development, right? So we should not leave anyone. So here, what are the alternative solutions for the small communities? What can be done? So tell me, what can be done to increase economic activities in these rural areas? Okay, so think on this line also. So what are the reasons for this increased economic activities in these large villages compared to smaller villages? So you will be understanding what are the drawbacks, right? So on these drawbacks, try to give your measures. So today's main question is on this topic itself. Okay? What happened? Okay. So here you have to know about what are the reasons for the more economic activities in these larger villages, so that you can understand what are the drawbacks in the smaller villages. On these drawbacks you have to work and you have to think and you have to give the measures. You will be not getting this answer anywhere, so try to think. Okay. Next one here is government electrification claim. So government already saying that yes, we are providing universal electrification, but there are some challenges. So this is one of the challenge. So we have to take some measures. Okay, and even government is saying that we have to go for solar home systems or mini grids in smaller villages, so that we can shift for energy strategy here. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said. And see this article, a panoramic view of 2024 China-Africa Summit. So we know that, yes, recently China and Africa, they had met, they had summit. And in that summit, we discussed one article. I think many of you might be remembering that, at least recalling that. So China is going to invest lots and lots of millions of rupees for increasing of employment in Africa, right? So that is a part of this China-Africa Summit. So here, whenever you are getting this kind of summit, so here whether India is involved in this? So here in the summit, China participated and African countries participated, but not India. So here, if this kind of summits are happening, you have to see what are the lessons to be learned by India from this kind of summits. So on this area, you will be getting questions. So where India is not there, you have to see what it going to have impact on India, or like what lessons India can learn from that. So now can you tell me what lessons India can learn from this China-Africa summit? Okay, first I will give you the details of what are the highlights of this summit, and later on I will be asking you this question like what India can do or how it is going to impact on India, or what are the lessons can be learned by India. Clear? Are you understanding my question? Yes, right? Okay. So recently summit had happened, and the name of the summit is Forum on China Africa Cooperation, FOCSE summit. So where it held in Beijing. So it had been attended by how many countries? 53 African nations. And this summit showcased China's evolving approach amidst economic pressures and its efforts to strengthen its partnership with Africa. So with this kind of summit, around 53 African nations had been attended. That means we can understand that China wants to increase its influence even in African countries. So here you have to remember one important point. So one country of Africa had not been participated. So can you tell me which country of Africa not participated? Okay, so I will telling you the reason why that country had not participated. So here we have China and here we have Taiwan. What is this Taiwan? So China claims that Taiwan is integral part of China, but Taiwan says that no, we are independent. But on this, still the debate is going on. So this one country is supporting Taiwan. So because of this country had not participated in this summit, and you have to know that country. Okay, so that country is, yes, Vatni. Okay, you have to know about the facts on this forum also. So it is a summit which established near 2000, and this summit, it was established to formalize a strategic partnership between China and African nations, and this will be conducted once in every 3 years. So one time it will be done in China and one time it will be done in Africa. Okay, so around 53 African nations are the members and they participated. One country which is diplomatically having ties with Taiwan against China's one China policy. So that country didn't participate in this summit. Okay, so what are the highlights of this meet here is they came up with trade expansion. So Africa aims to increase exports to China. As of July 2024, China-Africa trade had reached $167 billion with African exports 69 billion. So actually here African countries wants to export. So what they want to export, either that to raw materials. If they are exporting raw materials, what will be the use? Right? So this is the mistake which is doing by Africa. So because of this mistake, so still the status of Africa is less developed countries. And see the second important agreement, it is about improvement in agriculture. So Africa needs to build sustainable agriculture sector. So for this, Africa is asking help from China and as well as India. So what help they are expecting here is they want to get good hybrid variety of seeds so that they should be drought resilient. And next one is they are expecting fertilizers and the tools like machinery, like we have harvesters, we have happy seeders, so like that whatever the equipment we are having in our agriculture sector, so they're also expecting this. And they're also focusing on food processing industries. And next one here is they're also focusing on green energy and industrialization. So Africa, it is seeking to establish refining and processing hubs, especially Zimbabwe. It's required Chinese companies. So here, one more tragedy in Africa here is, so they are having rich resources, but they don't have technology. So because of this, the countries, developed countries, they are going to Africa and they are extracting them. So one such an example here is Zimbabwe. It requires Chinese companies to refine lithium locally. They want help of Chinese countries. But the problems here is electricity. There is no proper electricity, and even there are issues regarding environment. So these are the issues they are facing. And next one here is they are also focusing on debt management. As you all know that wherever China goes or keeps its legs, so that country will comes under debt trap of China. So actually they want to minimize this debt trap between China and Africa. And next one is they want to also come up with strategic engagement. So they want to especially come up with trade pacts or engagement, and they want to improve bilateral relations between these two countries. And now tell me what lessons India can learn from this meet. It is your time now. Come on, say what can India do, or like what will be the impact on India-Africa relations? Will we are going to have any impact? Tell me what is that impact? Okay, India itself getting fertilizers from other countries. Next. Okay, if India is providing loans or if India is providing any grants and some aid, obviously we can improve the relationship. Next. Yes, Mpox. Okay, India can provide vaccines so that we can increase our soft power in Africa. Very good point. Next. Come on. In this way, if you think you can do it, guys. Yes, sharing of technology. Exactly. Which technology? And can you tell me some recent development in technology? Recently, with South Africa, we signed submarine rescue, not operation agreement. Okay, next. Come on, you can do it. Recently, there are in current fights. Guys, do it. Huh? Okay, we can provide solar technology so that electricity problem can be addressed. Very good. Next. We don't have that solar panels. We are importing from China, right? Next. Come on, think. Industries. Okay, so we can go for local development. Okay, that is a one valuable point. Next. Come on, you can do it. Think. Yes, medical aids, we can do it. Okay, that point already I said. Next. Okay, see what lessons can India learn from this Africa's engagement with China is. So we have to think that it is not like we have to come up with the meetings like once in 5 years or once in 10 years. So we have to have the regular engagement. Continuous engagement will be very much needed. So if you see this kind of summits between India and this Africa was happened 2015. Now it is 2024. From 9 years onwards, you are not having proper engagement with this African countries. So we have to maintain proper momentum. And next one here is we can provide industrial support, that thing that you said. So especially we can invest in agriculture, we can also provide pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, we can focus on farm mechanization. And India is also very good in food processing industries. So we can also share that technology so that we can reduce the food wastage, and even we can increase the food storage, and even we can address this problem of employment. Yeah, next one is we can also give financing, as you said, okay? Like we can go for public private partnership, we can also invest in that countries. And next one here is we can also share our digital tools, like digital technology that we are using, like UPI, so which had been successful using in other countries like Mauritius, Nepal. So in the same way we can also share this kind of financial transaction between India and Africa, so that obviously we can increase our economic ties and relations. Clear? What are the points you said? Are they matching here? At least 50%? Okay. And see this article, UAE India ties are rooted in affinity, trust and respect. So why this UAE is in news? From last 3 days we are discussing this. One day I shown like he is coming to India, and another day I said like we are going to have civil nuclear agreement, and now there is editorial. So if you are following the news, at least if that article is important, you will be getting 3 to minimum 6 days. That will be there in newspaper. If you're reading newspaper every day, you will be remembering that, and you will be understanding that issue clearly. So please, so for that reason, don't skip newspaper, don't rely on any monthly maxim. So try to make your notes. So that is very important. Okay, see this article, why it is in news? Why UAE and India relations is in news? Yeah, UAE prince, he visited India. Okay, so after visiting, what he do? Okay, so which kind of agreements we had been signed? Okay, civil nuclear, civil nuclear. What is that last word? Very good. Okay, other than that, what agreements we made? Yes, LNG. So these two are very important. So recently, India and UAE held bilateral talks, and in these talks, partnership. Uh-huh. Cooperation. Okay. So here we wants to deepen the ties, and we wants to enhance comprehensive strategic partnership between this UAE and as well as India. And especially we had signed the civil nuclear cooperation. So what is the civil? For citizens purpose, which is a safe nuclear use, right? Okay. So this agreement is between which and which? So I said about one nuclear plant of UAE. What is that nuclear plant of UAE? Emirates, not Emirates. It is Barak nuclear plant. So what is the importance of this Barak nuclear plant? Actually, it is the world's first Arab nuclear power plant. Okay. So with that power plant and India, we have Nuclear Corporation of India Limited, NPCIL, and as well as Barak nuclear power plant. So between this, we had agreement. And next one here is, as you said, LNG supply. So we are going to have long-term LNG supply agreement between India and UAE. And yeah, and I want to ask one more question. So we are importing oil, crude oil, right? So after importing crude oil, we are going for fractional distillation method, and we are extracting diesel, petrol, gasoline, everything. Yes, what happens? So from which country you are getting this oil? Huh? Yeah, Russia and some Arab countries. So what happens if those countries stop exporting oil? What about India future? So whatever the question I'm asking, so you will be understanding why am I asking this question. So tell me, what happens if those countries are stopping this export? Online students and YouTube students. We don't have. Okay, we can go for other. Okay, so others. Okay, so we can go for electricity. But all the vehicles. How many of you are having vehicles? How many of you have electric vehicles? Very less. So what happens if there is no diesel and petrol? There will be no traffic jam at all. Uh, okay, so if to stop this kind of situation, so what steps government can make? So do you know what is the savings? why every household will be having savings. So how many savings you will be having in your bank account? Huh? Zero. Okay, so why any family will go for savings? What is the reason? To tackle any unfortunate situation. So if this unfortunate situation will happen to country, how our country will handle this? So for that we have strategic petroleum reserves. So do you know about the strategic petroleum reserves? So in three areas we are having very big huge underground tanks where we will be storing the crude oil. Okay, so if sometimes we know like recently COVID-19 happened, and we know like Russia Ukraine crisis is happening, and Israel Palestine. So if this kind of unfortunate situations which are very serious which happens in other countries, it should not have impact on energy security of our country. So because of this we are having strategic petroleum reserves. So in three areas, so in which areas we are having this? So please find out. So in three areas we are having this strategic petroleum reserves. So in this UAE visit also, MOU had been signed for the supply of petroleum so that we can maintain stockpiles of petroleum reserves in our country. Am I making any sense? Okay, next one here is, yes, we had signed an agreement regarding even food parks. Okay, so improvement of technology, and even actually India and UAE, they are part of I2U2, so this grouping is also very helpful for increasing of relationship between India and as well as UAE as well. So you have to see the map. Where is this UAE? Here we have UAE, and here we have Persian Gulf, and here we have Gulf of Oman. So this country is having access to both Gulf of Oman and Persian Gulf. So we'll be having this question like, so which of the countries are having the access to both Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman? And here there is also one more country. So these two countries are having that. So you have to see which country is that. Okay, see why UAE is important for India. So with these agreements, at least tell some points fast. Sir will come. Okay, for example, yes, for oil security, next. Okay, for economy, okay. So here we are having strategic political partnership between these countries. And this one here is for bilateral trade, because UAE is India's third largest trading partner. And this one here is we can get investment for foreign direct investment. This country is important. And even as I said, oil supplier and LNG supplier. So it is helpful for our energy security. And next one is for finance. So even we introduced this RuPay card and as well as a UPI in UAE. So for financial transactions also this country is important. And even recently ISRO and UAE Space Agency, which had been signed an MOU, okay, regarding using of space for peaceful purpose. So for space exploration also UAE is important. And even we are having some exercises between this India and UAE. One such an exercise is exercise desert cyclone. So recently Yudhabhyas and as well as Tarang Shakti 2024 is there in news, right? So between this India and UAE, we have this exercise desert cyclone. And next one here is we are also having multilateral engagements like we have I2U2 and even India, Middle East, European Economic Corridor in this IMEC also. This UAE plays a very important role. So because of this, yes, obviously we have to maintain good relationship with UAE. So there are other articles. So yesterday we discussed about this GST Council meet, and they said that they are going to decrease tax on health insurance. Next one on research. Next one is they are going to increase tax on car seats. Okay, so that is the thing which is given here. So what is the impact? Already we discussed this article in yesterday's class. And see this article. So from science and technology, you have to see this. SpaceX launches all civilian crew for first private spacewalk. So actually what it signifies, so we are going to enter into the new era of space. Okay, so here you have to see what are the advantages of this private spacewalk. So this thing that you have to do the work. Okay, so these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and please do like this class and share this class, and do subscribe to Rathods IS Academy. Don't forget.